And it's a combination of factors that we see being talked about oftentimes, Professor Usman, about what can be done. I've seen reports saying that maybe the sort of local vigilante model which was used in the Northeast to some success, maybe you could have the same thing happen in Kaduna State. What do you think about local vigilante? You think if you had that in place, it will improve the security situation?
Yeah, Agogo, I've said it. I mean, every security situation is unique. And the people and the leaders in that community need to see how they can fashion out things that work for them. What worked in Borno will not work here, or will not work in Anambra or Imo State. So unless you engage everybody, and we've seen the excesses of vigilante, we've seen the excesses of NSACI fueling all of this killing and the circle of violence. Leaders need to come in and see what will work for their communities. There's no one template that fits all. Engagement of people, religious leaders, traditional rulers, elders, the people themselves that are involved, and our political leaders must be the template to use and see how things will work there. You cannot detach yourself as politicians do and start prescribing solutions. And most importantly, you have to understand the problem before you write a prescription. And our politicians do not understand it, have not invested time in understanding all of these conflicts. We have invested 2-3 years of our lives going into the forest to understand this thing. Why are we where we are? Why are we where we are? How can we help these problems to be solved? That's why we're here. Military is not the only solution. Data is not the only solution. Everybody must be involved. Involvement of everybody is the only way out. In all our conflicts, all the conflicts. That's why you see Soludo now raising his voice when no Igbo elders was raising his voice. Everybody was quiet. Anyway, that's the problem there. This is a problem I'm truly concerned about, because this is things are getting worse, and our politicians are not interested in sitting down to find out what the problems are. Thank you.
Oh, yeah, right. And I'm sure that we'll have to look at a number of all those factors together. But interestingly, I've also been looking at what the numbers are, because we found out in the Northwest, because of issues like education and high unemployment rate, this has triggered also in the rising insecurity. You stayed in the area for a while, and you also know how this play in. What are your thoughts in terms of the Northwest, how it's addressing these issues by investing in human capital, education, and providing job skills and opportunities for people? Is there any seriousness in this whatsoever?
Yeah, and I've said it before, insecurity anywhere in this country is as a result of two evils: corruption and bad governance. Corruption and bad governance. I went to school in this same Gusau, Zamfara, that has now become killing fields for people. And that's why Zamfara is near and dear to me, because look at the way it stands. And this year, Zamfara State and Sokoto State did not present a single candidate for WAEC. And education has never been more imperiled in the North than now. Children do not go to school. Over 10 million children out of school. When children go to school, school abductions. Parents do not send their children to school. How can any society progress with its children not educated? What do you expect them to be? Informants, bandits, Boko Haram terrorists, unemployed, on drugs? These are serious social issues that I don't see being addressed by our leadership. I don't. Without education, you leave your children uneducated, they don't go to school, and you expect your tomorrow to be better than today, and you send your children abroad while the children of the poor are here, out of school. So it's a powdered keg that will blow up on our faces like it is blowing up now. It's a social problem that we must confront. in this part of the country. And everywhere too. The more educated people are, the more tolerant they are, the more productive they are. You have children that are out of school, you're building flyovers, millions of dollars of naira of flyovers, and you call that development? No, it's not. My yardstick for development is that how many children go to school, how many children get good grades, how many children are employed, how many children are productive, how many children in my state get to federal agencies based on merit. You see them all over our streets. We are here applauding that we are doing consensus, we are doing zoning, we are doing this. We are in serious trouble. Our politicians are disconnected from realities of our people. But education, poverty, illiteracy, drugs are fueling all of this insecurity all across the country, particularly in the north. And I've raised my voice again and again. It's not personal against anybody. This is my country. This country that has given me more than I have given back. And I'll continue to raise my voice to do for our leaders to do the right thing.
All right. Let me ask you this question. The general elections around the corner, you just mentioned the fact that there seems to be a great disconnect between the people and the people that govern the government and the governed across the country. With peculiarity to Kaduna State, the elections are coming. What are you looking forward to? Do you see an end in sight to insecurity in the state? And what are those things? You've mentioned earlier on what you would do if you had the opportunity, but what are those things in the immediate presently that can be done to ensure that when elections come, we are able to get people in place that will do what the people would like, and will make people like you also feel safe and secure along with your family?
Yeah, I'm not from Kaduna State, but Kaduna State is near and dear to all of us. That's why we went to school. Kaduna is our capital. Kaduna is our darling city in the country. So, and I don't meddle in their politics. I'm from Katsina. But our biggest problem all over this country, not only in Kaduna or Katsina State, is will this election be credible? Insecurity will make this election very, very difficult to be credible. I can't see how you hold credible elections in a third of my state, Katsina, that is under siege. Obinugwari is under siege. Politicians are now fixated on elections. But when we are telling our politicians make our people, the homes of our people safe so that they can go back home. We don't want our people to be voting in IDP camps for governors or senators, or this is what they did in Borno. We want our people to be secured and go back home to their homes and to their farms. Politicians are just fixated with elections. So security is what we ask of this government, and that is its constitutional responsibility, not infrastructure. We have a year to go. Secure our land and protect our people. That's all we ask of this government, states or federal. In my state, our governor has given up and said everybody should arm himself. And that's what you see everywhere. So this government has failed in security, states and federal. And they should spend what is left of their time to secure this nation, to secure our people. But they're fixated on election, consensus, rotation, zoning, and all that when our people, when our land is drenched in blood. When our land is drenched in blood. Security is our biggest issue, not their politics, the infrastructure they have been propaganda about.
We're going to have to...
Our people are suffering. We see the sufferings of our people.
Right. Professor Yusuf Usman, thank you very much. We're going to have to leave it at that and come back and compare notes again and see if there's been any improvement. But thank you for always being the conscience of the people in the way you put out the points in trying to make those who have been put into office do the jobs which they've been elected for. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for having me.
Right. Professor Yusuf Usman, member Northern Elders.